The Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel welcomes you to this edition of the Mayor's and Supervisors Weekly Update, brought to you by...
Each week, our community makes history. Each week, you make history. And each week, there's only one source to turn to for the first take on history. You know what that is? Subscribe to the Sentinel right now to discover the history being made in your own backyard.
The Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel. More than just your news, it's your history.
Hi, and welcome everyone again to this week's version of the Mayor's and Supervisors Update. I'm Chris Carosa, publisher of the Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel, and each week we bring you the latest happenings from around our community. Let's start off this week with Jerry from the town of Rush. Jerry, how are we doing in Rush?
Everything is wonderful in Rush. We've got sunshine today, about 40% of the snow we had, and all of that contributes to making this the best kept secret in Western New York. You know that. I don't have to tell you that. I don't have much to share today. I did want to mention the County in Bloom program, which we've already participated in. That's a nice thing to know that they're going to have it this year, and that the weather is going to change for the better so that we can get the plants from the county and get them planted in Rush. COVID. Everybody I talk to is uncertain about the future. Where are we going with that? What are we going to do? I know our recreation programs are not on hold, but not for certain. And part of that is because the schools play a big part in housing our programs, some of our programs. We don't know where that's going to go. COVID is a big PIA, as we all know. I was confronted by a group of citizens who would like us to participate in the, I believe it's National Tree City program. Mayor Hanson has put me in touch with a lady from their forestry department, and that was a good conversation, and a couple of us are going to join the forestry department webinar next week so that we can learn more and determine whether or not we want to be a tree city or not. I happen to like trees, but I'm one vote. One last thing I'd share, I don't know if the rest of you have seen it, but I sat down with our assessor the other day, and he provided a new up-to-date report of real estate sales in the county, and with a focus on Rush. And we're going to have to be very, very diligent and careful in how we manage the finances in the future. If the reports of sales, etc., are accurate, we could see an uptick in tax bills come the next time. And that doesn't make me excited. And I hope there's some things that we can do to try to offset that. That's about all I have. Probably not a good subject to leave on, but that's the way it is.
That's the way it is. Okay, Walter Cronkite reporting from Rush, New York. John, the town of Mendon, how are we doing there?
Thanks, Chris, as always, for having us. I just wanted to report on a couple of things. In our March town board meeting, we will be establishing a committee for the tragedy, the crash of our servicemen in the town of Mendon, where the charge that the committee will have is to look at an appropriate response from the town, and obviously checking with the family to make sure that it's something that they are in agreement with. So we are creating a citizens advisory committee, and that'll happen at our March 8th meeting, and they'll subsequently meet. We do have some new LED lighting, which I'm sitting under, which probably just helps emphasize my wrinkles. But we've done that at Town Hall, and we're in the process of starting that at the community center. We've also done some carpeting work and some painting work at Town Hall, just kind of upgrading things. As I've mentioned before, it's been about 25 years since we've had a fresh coat of paint here. Also, we will be passing a resolution in support of the state of New York, naming a portion of Route 64 in the town of Mendon for Christian Koch, who obviously was one of the tragic passengers in that helicopter crash. And that is, we'll be supporting Marge Burns, who is our assembly person for the state, who represents us, and she'll be taking that to the state. But we do want to show support for that action. Sales tax in the fourth quarter of 2020 was down $20,000 as compared to the year previous. Our fourth quarter for 2020, that revenue actually goes into our 2021 budget, because obviously our budget starts on 1/1 and we don't have those numbers. So we're always taking 3 of the quarters from the year and 1 quarter from the previous year. So we did budget for a lesser amount in our 2021 budget for sales tax. Hopefully, as we see more and more businesses reopen, some of the storefronts fill up throughout not only the town of Mendon and our neighboring communities, but hopefully we see an uptick in sales tax as 2021 progresses. Summer recreation that we contract with the Honeoye Falls-Lima Central School as well as other municipalities is tentatively on at this point. I know they are looking for help. They have a help wanted sign out, and I think they're going to start registration soon. It's tentative right now, but we're proceeding like it's going to happen, and hopefully it does. Most of the news around COVID is fairly positive, all things considering right now. I always hesitate to announce anything about shots because there is by the time this reaches the paper, usually the dates have either gone by or filled up. But for certain, check online because now we're seeing one in Batavia open. There's a couple of our highway employees that are headed to Syracuse for a Johnson & Johnson one. So we're starting to see more and more places open up. So I would just encourage all residents to look into various locations and various appointments. The last thing I want to mention is that our town attorney, our code enforcement officer, myself, we're getting together to look at our town of Mendon code regarding signage. We want to make sure that we're for temporary signs that have something a little bit different than what we currently have in the code, and certainly being able for people to express their First Amendment rights, but also make sure that we can limit some of the size and some of the expression without curtailing businesses or real estate or anything like that. So that's something we'll be looking at over the next couple months. I imagine once we come up with a change in the code, there will be a public hearing. So you'll hear from me about that in the future. Again, thanks for having me.
All right. Thank you, John. Mike, town of Lima, how are we doing there?
Well, as you can hear in the background, elevator construction continues. As part of the project, an interim door is being put into the front of the town hall that has a handicapped opener on it and all of that. It's not the final door that we're going to end up with. The final door will actually have to be custom made through the facade renovation, but as estimating is still going on for that, we do not have a project or a timetable. April right now is probably more realistic for the elevator completion. March is Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month. If you are age 50 or over, please go and get screened. It is better to catch it early when it is easily treatable. Take it from me, I am a colorectal cancer survivor. I have already had 7 colonoscopies by the age of 55. So if I've had 7, you can go and have 1. Livingston County is recruiting for the Summer Youth Employment Program. We've employed these young folks here as summer help at the town hall before. The application can be found at the Livingston County website under youth employment. If you drive the 5 and 20 corridor through the Bragg and Doran intersection, you know how dangerous it can be. Please consider signing our online petition to have it changed. Our HFL veteran school tax exemption drive still continues. The letter to send in was last published in the Sentinel last week. It's also available at the American Hotel, Fanatics, Tyson's Upper Deck, and here at the Lima Town Hall. Links for the Bragg and Doran 5 and 20 petition and the veterans letter are in my last post on the Town of Lima website. 3.3 cents per thousand is the least we can do for our veterans. Lastly, congratulations to the American Hotel, who is just racking up the awards. Named Best Business in the Sentinel, and then of course, prior to that, the Greatest Longevity Business from the Livingston County Chamber of Commerce. If you've not been into the hotel recently, there are still 110 soups with 7 on the menu each day. And if you've not tried it, their famous bacon cheeseburger is now available as a wrap. And you can still have them drag it through the garden before they make it. So, that's all I've got, Chris.
All right. Thanks, Mike. Rick, what's new and happening in the village of Honeoye Falls?
We've had some great updates from my counterparts here, and I'll agree with Jerry. It's awful nice to see the sun out. While it's still cool, it certainly does make for a nice day. Village staff is working very hard on our annual budget and to have that ready for the public hearing, which is slated for April 5th, the first Monday in April at 6 p.m. That's when we'll host our public hearing, and then our annual meeting is directly following, anticipating starting that at 6:30 p.m. Both of those meetings will be virtual for residents and will be set up on a Zoom platform for those meetings. Residents may call the village office or stop in to get a copy of the budget as it's finalized to review. We certainly want people to take a look at that. And it will certainly be posted on our website for all to see, www.villageofhoneoyefalls.org. As it nears its completion, we'll get that posted. Tomorrow, Monday, March 8th, at 7 p.m. is another scheduled Zoom board meeting, zoning board meeting, which is publicized. That will be virtual and will still be on the Big Blue Button platform that had already been publicized as that. And so it's a legal challenge to get that changed at the last minute. So that will be Big Blue Button platform. Those links will be available on Monday on both our website and Facebook page, and can be found in an earlier Sentinel edition as well when that was advertised. We are working hard on our Good Vibes Flowing summer concert series. We will plan to continue that. That will begin probably on Tuesday, June 8th. Again, could be a week later, but we're planning on June 8th. Every Tuesday right through August at the Harry Allen Park gazebo. It is very well attended. We have a lot of great bands coming in from 6 to 8 p.m. And we try to have food there every Tuesday as well. So please be looking for that. And we're also continuing and nearing the end of our comprehensive plan review. Now, again, we had just adopted our new comprehensive plan about 6 years ago, maybe 7. And we just want to reapprove that, if you will. So we're not looking at a lot of changes, but just some verbiage clarifications, et cetera. We're hoping to have that done by the end of May so we can bring that to the residents for review and then go to a public hearing to readopt that. So again, No huge changes, but just keeping it updated. And then lastly, as Supervisor Moffitt had said, we're very happy to see the positivity rate continuing to be somewhat lower on the COVID-19. We're doing better overall, but we all just have to continue to be vigilant in our actions and our gatherings. And Village Hall is back to full staff. At Village Hall, our DPW staff is still working split shifts, if you will, or split days. We're going to continue that for another month to make sure we get through, goodness, hope we don't have more snow, but we're trying to get through the snow plowing season and keeping them apart through that. So once that breaks, we'll have full staff again with the DPW as well. So again, Chris, thanks for hosting this. We appreciate it. And it's always nice to see everyone. Have a great day.
Thanks, Rick. Eileen, the wonderful village of Scottsville.
And
How are we doing this week?
It is a wonderful village. We're doing fine. Our next board meeting is March 9th at 6:30. It will be a remote meeting, so please check the links. Lots of things to discuss at our meeting. First thing is the Forestry Board has designated Arbor Day as May 1st in the village. There will be a small tree planting event at that time because of COVID restrictions. And hopefully there'll be a larger, more festive public tree planting in the fall, which the DEC says is the optimal time for planting trees. So that's on the books. At our meeting, we hope to have, I'm here somewhere. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can
Okay.
hear you.
I just lost you here.
You can keep talking. We can hear you.
Okay. Anyway, at our board meeting, we're going to, we have been talking about updating our website, and our trustee Leslie Wager will be making a recommendation based on the groups that she's checked into. So we'll be discussing that. In my report, I'm going to be talking about the tentative budget. We're about ready with that and should be getting that out to the trustees, take a look at, and then having meetings to discuss that budget so we can present it to the public at a public hearing in April. Also, I plan on discussing grant writing. It's one of the things that we need to look into in the village. And I've looked at a couple of firms that do this, do the whole package, and some individual grant writers. So we'll be discussing what direction we want to go in at our next board meeting. This week, I also will be meeting with Christine Uribe, who is the Greenway manager. One of the things we need to discuss with the good weather coming up and the summer looming ahead of us is our parks. And we have two parks in the village. One of them, the Canawagas Park on Owaka Creek, got a lot of social media coverage last year and created some difficulties for us. So I've been talking with Christine Uribe on how we can, some guidelines for those parks. We're also looking to see, as other people are, what camps are going to be doing this summer, what kind of recreation activities we can have in the parks. So we've been looking at the guidelines that have been coming up so that we can make some decisions on what we need to do this coming summer. Also, we're waiting on a resolution from one of our engineers on declaring us a climate smart community, which we can do based on our solar panels that we installed. We have a few motions that will be coming up at our board meeting. The first is setting a public hearing date to consider a new local law for no parking on Beckwith Avenue for a section of that in front of the elementary school. We've had a request from the school that the parking there has made it dangerous for people coming out of the loop. So we're going to be considering that. Next, we'll be having a motion to form the Village of Scottsville Sewer Commission. and we're looking at the members of the board and the staff that should be on that committee. So we will be talking about that and making a motion to approve that. The other thing is we'll be appointing 2 new members to the Rochester Street Historic Advisory Board that help people when they are doing any work on their houses to maintain that historic look that is necessary, since Rochester Street is designated an historic district. And that is about it for us. We're enjoying the nice weather. It was actually balmy one day last week, and let's hope that kind of weather continues. And thank you for the opportunity to speak today.
Thank you, Riley. Does anybody else have anything else they want to add? Seeing none, thank you all for joining us. Thank you all for listening. And remember, we're here every Sunday at 1 o'clock on Facebook and YouTube. Bye-bye for now.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
Imagine yourself communicating with a difference. Pan-Dimensional Solutions helps you do this. Whether live spectator events, taped broadcasts, or real-time audience-engaging programs, you can benefit immediately from the tools Pan-Dimensional Solutions will share with you. Do you want to make a difference? Contact us at pandimensional.com.